Hello there, this is Tyler with E1 Solutions. In today's video here, we are going to be walking through the steps for installing the Popdock Salesforce Connector for Zendesk. So to get started, we are just inside of Zendesk support and we are going to navigate to the admin center. Once in the admin center, we are going to use this left panel, select apps and integrations, and then we are going to click on Zendesk support apps. And then from there, we are going to select marketplace. And this is going to bring us to the Zendesk marketplace, which is where we will search for Popdock here under keywords. Now you'll notice that we have a couple of different Popdock connectors. The one that we'll be using here today is the Salesforce connector. Be on the lookout for some additional videos regarding installing the other connectors you see here. Well, we'll click on Salesforce connector. Inside of here, you're going to get a description of what this Salesforce connector entails, and this is where we will go to begin the installation process. So we are going to click on how to install, and then I am going to actually right click where it says register your app here to receive your widget IDs and complete setup. And I'm going to open this link in a new tab. The reason being is we are going to navigate back to this page once we've gone through our app wizard. So go over to the new page that gets created, and you'll start by creating a new Popdock account. If you haven't already created an account, this is where you will begin. If you do already have an existing Popdock account, you'll see the bottom here, there is a login with an existing account option. So you can proceed with the steps that I'll be showing you after that by clicking on that option. But we are going to move forward and assume that we are creating a new account. So use the available fields to set that up. Once you've filled in the required lines or fields, you can then click on Get Started. And you'll notice that it then begins creating your account. The next page that it brings you to is an area where you're actually going to put in the credentials for your Salesforce account. And the first step is selecting the connection type, whether the environment that you're connecting to is sandbox or production. In my case, I'm going to be selecting the production type. The other field that we need to populate is our API version. If you aren't familiar with how to find that inside of your Salesforce environment, we do have an article on our website. So if you navigate to e1solutions.com, and access our knowledge base, you can search for this article, which outlines how to identify your Salesforce edition and API version. But we'll go back to our install page here. And I know that my version is 60.0. Once you've entered in your API version, you can click validate. You'll then be prompted to log into your Salesforce account. Now, I recently logged into my account, so you'll notice that my username has already populated. If you have not recently logged in, it'll ask you to put in your username and password to log into your Salesforce account. You'll then, once you've logged in, it'll then bring you to this page, which will ask you if you allow Popdock to grant access to your Salesforce environment. And you'll go to the bottom here and select allow. This will then bring you back to the page we just were at. And now that we have successfully validated, you can now press connect, and we are going to go through the exact same exercise that we went through. If you have to log in, or if you have not recently logged in, it'll prompt you to fill in your login credentials to your username and password. But as you can see, again, I've recently done so, and then we are going to click allow once more. Next, we are now going to connect to our Zendesk account. So there's a couple of different connection types. The one I'm going to use here today is login online. For the site prefix, if you navigate back to your Zendesk environment, what we are grabbing is this prefix that comes before the Zendesk in your site's URL. So you can copy that, and then we are going to paste it right inside of here. And then once again, we will hit validate. You can see that the connection was validated, and then again, we are going to select connect. So what this app wizard then did is it actually generated a bunch of different unique IDs that we are now going to take when we do the purchase process and put these into our Zendesk environment, which will then install our sidebar widgets into your Zendesk environment as well. One thing that I will recommend is I would go through and make sure to copy each one of these and save them somewhere so that you have access to these identifiers, whether you take a screenshot or individually copy all of them. You'll want to have access to these in case you ever need them down the road, and this is a good place to make note of those. But we are going to now, with these in hand, we are actually going to navigate back to this page, and we are now going to go through the process for purchasing our Salesforce connector. So I'm going to click buy here, and then I have a couple of different Zendesk environments. So I'm going to select the environment I want to install the Salesforce connector into. It's then going to bring me to this page. On the left-hand side here is where we're actually going to be copying all of those unique IDs that the app wizard generated. At first, you'll want to give your Salesforce connector a name. I'm just going to keep it as Salesforce connector in this case, but then I'm going to copy the domain from the app wizard. So this one right here, I'm going to plug it into the domain. The next one is the ticket widget ID. So if I go back to my app wizard, it is the Salesforce sidebar for tickets. And once again, the next one is user widget ID. And then last but not least, the organization. Now you can go inside of here at this time and enable role restrictions or group restrictions within Zendesk. You also have the option of modifying this once you've gone through the purchase process. But once you've inputted all of these widget IDs into the installation section, you now can complete the rest of the billing details piece. So put in your billing credentials, and from there, once you've gone through the payment process, this app will now be installed into your Zendesk environment. You can now navigate back to Zendesk support, and if you access any ticket, user, or organization, you will now see in this right Customer 360 panel a Salesforce connector, which will be displaying data coming from your Salesforce system. So that's basically how you walk through the wizard and install the Popdock Salesforce connector for Zendesk. If you have additional questions on this installation process, feel free to contact support@e1solutions.com, and we're happy to help.